Hello everybody, welcome back to Pop Squeeze 307. Here in another DCS tutorial, a little short bit video, hopefully to give you some tips. And what we're going to do is we're going to go over the George AI controls from the gunner's seat in the Apache. You can see we're here in Jalalabad on the Afghanistan map. We're in the Apache. Got some other Apache bros down there. A few of them are going to take off. It's going to get a little bit loud. Thankfully our cockpit is shut. And then we're going to go through and we're going to fly a little routed mission, I guess you could say, from the mission editor that I did. And we're just going to go over the controls on how to control George. Say hi, George. We're going to control George with the AI controls and have him fly the aircraft for us. So if you're wanting to get in the action seat as the gunner for the Apache, this is how you're going to do it. So first things first, we need to go into the adjust controls. All right. You're going to start with, first thing I always go to is in the Apache 64D, the George AI helper. You want to bind the button for down, left, and right, and to hide. Right. So that hide one defaults to left control V. I have it changed, which you'll see on the next menu, because I use a palm board controller for like my F1 controls and my AI stuff. So once you have the down, left, right, and up controls bound, I have those bound to my four-way hat on my HOTAS throttle. So whatever works for you, go ahead and get those bound. And then you want to go to back to the AH-64D CPG seat, which is the gunner seat, and then you want to come down on the control menu to George AI. Again, you can see the AI show hide button. Mine on this one is rebound to left control A. That is defaulted to left control V. You could bind the request aircraft control if you wanted to fly it. If you wanted to take controls from George and fly the aircraft from the gunner seat, you can, but we're not doing that in this tutorial. And then go ahead and bind that multifunction input center button as well. Once you have those bound, we'll go ahead and explain what's going on here. All right, so right now we're in a cold, dark Apache, nothing going on. We are going to go ahead and hit the show hide button. So left control V for the default users. Mine's left control A. It's going to bring up this menu in the bottom right. Okay, so a little explanation of what you're seeing here. Technically you have three rings. So you have this outer ring, the inner ring, and the center. Okay, pretty self-explanatory. The outer ring is a long press of that function button. So if you wanted to full start the aircraft, you're going to long press up on that AI button that you just mapped. Long press means that you're holding the button or switch for longer than 0.5 seconds. Okay? The inner ring is a short press. So if you press it less than 0.5 seconds. Makes sense? So up is up, right is right, down is down, left is left. So we're going to go ahead and get George to start the aircraft for us by holding up long press.
Battery on, comms check.
And he's going to confirm everything that you tell him. He is going to acknowledge it and then do it.
Client detect one, all good indications.
And he's going to call it out as he does it.
Fire. Engine 1 fire.
Go ahead and get a couple
all good indications.
Things for us set up here.
Aft deck fire.
Lighting controls.
APU is clear. Start APU.
George kind of sounds like he's from like New York or Boston. He's kind of got a little bit of an accent. But all right, so while this fires up, just remember, outer ring is long press, inner ring is short press. This button on the left, short press, for where right now where it says ground, is your current menu. All right. And I'll explain again when we get in the air, because there's going to be another set of icons that pop up on the left. And that
My helmet's bore-sighted.
menu selection is going
Pinvis is
to
coming out.
be indicated over there as well.
RLWR is powered.
Sam. 5 o'clock. Searching.
CMOS is powered. Area is clear. Ready for engine start.
Alright, go ahead and fire him up, George.
Starting engine 1.
Okay, once engine 1 started, we'll bore sight. I guess we don't really need to worry about bore sighting. We might do it anyways, because we're not going to be shooting the gun. Bore sighting is just getting your IHATs, which is this monocle that you can see the outline of, bore sighted to the bore sight of the aircraft. So if you were wanting to control the gun, you can control it by basically just
Crank it
looking at the
into-
target and shooting. So now we have our IHATs up. We're going to go ahead and bore sight it just to show you. So you want to come on the right screen here, you're going to hit weapon. You're going to hit bore sight. And you're going to box IHATs. Once you box IHATs, you should see the bore sight rings show up in the bore sight here. If you don't see those, you need to make sure that this top right light for primary dial is set to bright, and then you'll see those. Your cursor on the screen should automatically select bore sight, so you can do this one of two ways. You can line up this
Power lever's
cursor
coming up to fly.
on the dot and click the cursor depress switch, or you can press that button on the MFD. I'm going to press the button on the MFD once I get this lined up as best I can.
APU shut down. Brakes released. Park and brake handle in. We're ready for takeoff.
Alright, George has just told us that we're ready for takeoff, so we're going to go ahead and get our IHADs out of the way. We're going to come back to our TSD. Alright? Right now, we're on the ground. Obviously, we can't do anything flight-wise. So if you come into your menu again, you're on the ground menu. Now that you see we're ready for flight, there's another set of icons and stuff that you need to pay attention to on the left. Okay? You have your indicated set ground speed and the same for the set altimeter and your current heading. Okay? This is a compass, right? The orientation of the nose of the aircraft, best I can judge, is this yellow V indicator right here. Okay? So whichever way you're pointing on the compass rose, that V is going to point to it. Your waypoint set or current heading is this little like cut in half, like V'd out rectangle on the top of that ribbon, and that's going to change with A, your steer point, or B, if you tell him to go to a different heading or course adjustment. All right, so right now we're in ground, the ground menu. That's also indicated on the left with that yellow boxed GND. We're going to left press short to the hover menu. Now you can see it's indicating our hover menu on the left as well as over here, and we have a bunch of new settings or commands. We're going to start by showing you that on the ground he's not going to move. So if I say hover left, he's going to tell me he can't do it. Oh, and I pushed the wrong button. Excuse me. That's hover left would be long press left.
Unable.
Can't do that because we're on the ground. So we got to get him in the air before he's going to be able to move. So up short press is going to change this altimeter setting, or your indicated altitude you want him to be at, in 10-foot increments. So we're going to take him up to 100 feet. So up short press, you'll see that number changes. We're going to take him to 100 feet. Once you stop pressing,
Coming up.
he will acknowledge it and take the aircraft to that
RPM
position.
low.
Sure we're not going to run into anybody over here. Right? And he'll also indicate when he's at the altitude.
At altitude.
Right? See, right there, we're at 100 feet, indicated on our IHADs, as well as what our setting is. All right? Now, you could move him around if you wanted to, right now in the hover menu, but I'll show that and the course changes and stuff when we come back to land. So right now, we're going to change our menu to the flight menu. So we're going to left short press. This is combat. We don't want that. We're going to keep going to flight, FLT. You should see it on the left as well. So now you have your heading left and right, your radar altimeter or altitude setting up and down, and our ground speed up and down short. So we want to change this. We're going to take him up to about 400 feet. All right. So we're going to hold that button until we get close to 400 feet over here.
Copy. Coming up.
We landed on 420. And as he's going up, you can see that he's going to be climbing to that set point. And again, that was up long press for a positive or climbing altitude. If you wanted to bring him down, you would down long press. All right. He has got to that set point.
At requested altitude.
All right, now we're going to get him moving. So we're going to forward short press for ground speed positive, and you'll see the GS box here will start to change. We're going to set him to 75 knots. He's going to pitch forward and start moving. Now he's just going to move in a straight line like this until you tell him to change his course. His course is set, indicated here by that little notched out rectangle that I was telling you about, right? So he'll get trimmed out, everything that he needs to do. But we want him to follow our steer points. So we're going to zoom in this map a little bit. And we want him to fly direct or route direct to waypoint 1. So you can see this RTE DIR for route direct, which is right short press. Press it.
Direct.
He is going to follow our currently stored mission route or waypoint or steer point, whatever you want to call it. Turn points. He's going to follow that route now. So this is great. If you're wanting to just be in the gunner seat and do gunner things, you know, launching missiles, but have George fly for you, this is the easiest way I've figured out how to do it. All right? So now he's headed to waypoint 2. We've passed waypoint 1, and that will change. You'll see it when we get to waypoint 2. You'll see it when he switches to waypoint 2. This course indicator should change. All right? You can also see that, if you're not familiar with it, on your right MFD in the TSD page, which is our map here, you can see we have waypoint 2 selected.
Fixed wing, 10 o'clock.
We're 1.2 kilometers away, and it's an ETA arrival of about 30 seconds.
Searching.
You could go to route, and you could change what direct route you wanted to go to, but we're just going to leave them on waypoint 2 right now.
10 o'clock. Searching.
Our CWS system is talking.
Fixed wing, 10 o'clock. Searching.
So about 5 seconds here, you'll go direct to waypoint 3. Boom! You can see the course changed here, and now our vector, our our reference point on our compass rose is coming around as he's turning to that designation of what course we need to be on. And I'm not touching anything right now. He's doing all of that. All I did again was we got to the speed we wanted to be at, the altitude we wanted to be at, and I hit the route direct, and now he's following the steer point routes. If we wanted to speed him up, we could go ahead and do the ground speed short plus button, which is the up short press. So we'll take him up to 90 knots.
Copy. Speeding up.
And he's going to speed up. And we'll go ahead and we'll bring him down to about 300 feet.
On speed. Roger. Decreasing altitude. Roger. Decreasing altitude.
So we'll go ahead and bring him down to that point. He's going to stay about 90 knots at 300 feet. Now we're headed to waypoint 4.
Searching.
So you could use these left and right long presses. I'll show that when we get to the end of our route here. So say you're in a hover trying to get on a target and you're not at the right heading, like you're too far right or too far left. you can manually adjust that to get him to yaw left or right and change the direction that you're facing so you can get on target. But again, right now, he's just following the route that we had on our mission editor. And once he gets to waypoint 5, since that's the last waypoint, he's going to stop. He is going to stop. The airspeed's going to zero out, and he's just going to sit and hover at your indicated altimeter setting that you want him to stay at. So again, hope this is helpful. Remember, the bottom left corner, that is what current menu you're in, which is also indicated here. And if you wanted to change that, it's just left short press and it'll cycle to the next menu. And we'll go through a couple other little things before we go through the hover menu and land him. But yeah, all you got to do is when you come in the helicopter, you start in the pilot's seat. You can bind a button to switch seats. So don't even have to worry about starting the aircraft. You can just switch to the gunner seat, go through your menu and the ground menu, tell him to start it up, and our boy George back there will get everything set up for you. You will have to go through and get like all your gunner stuff set up if you're going to be doing that, but right now we're just out taking a little cruise to show you how to run the menu. And you can press that if you were not tired of seeing that stuff. You can hide that by pressing your show hide button again. I keep it up just as a reference. The buttons I have mapped is something I have to physically like go touch. I can't accidentally, you know, tell them to change course or anything. I guess you probably could, but just got to be mindful of your controls. So as you can see, he's coming up on waypoint 5 now, which this is Jalalabad Air Base here. He's going to start. Now you can see our ground speed indicator went to 0. He's going to get over that waypoint, and he's just going to pull back on the cyclic to lose speed, and then he's going to hold that hover at 300 feet. Excuse me. Right, once he gets to 0, he's holding that hover. We'll explain a few things. So he's going to bring us right on the point there. Right? Probably not a good idea to just sit and hover over an airfield like this, but we shouldn't have any inbound air traffic for a little while. So we're at our waypoint. Okay, we're going to go ahead and short press left. So if you were in combat and you wanted him to brake left or brake right, that would be your right and left long presses, or brake 180. So if I wanted him to turn 180 degrees, I'm going to down long press.
Braking 180 at requested altitude.
He's going to stay at that altitude, and he's going to turn 180 degrees away from where you were facing. So if you were moving and a missile launched, that's how you would tell him to move, right? To get, you know, start maneuvering away. So we're going to go ahead and go through the heading and direction here. So we're back on the flight menu. We need to go back 180 degrees, right? So we need to go almost to a direct north setting. So you can see the waypoint indication here, that little upside down, or the diamond, I guess is what it looks like. So we're just going to long press left, and we're going to hold it.
Stop and turn. On heading.
Why is it not turning?
Holding this heading. At requested heading. Turn and direct.
Okay, so I hit direct. He's still in the direct flight path, so now he's going back to face it, 180. But you would, if he wasn't in the flight direct mode, you would be able to change that heading.
Copy. Heading to location. Copy.
No,
copy.
it's changing.
Heading to location.
I see it changing now.
At request. Braking left. Braking right.
Okay, so those are in the combat menu, but in the flight control there,
On heading.
There it goes. See it moving?
Coming right.
Change this to about 280.
On heading.
So we're about where we need to be. All right, so we're going to go back into the hover menu, the HB menu. All right, we're going to take him down to about 40 feet. Okay, so that's going to be down short press. We're just going to tap that button until we get to about 40 feet above ground.
Copy. Coming down. Copy. Coming down.
We'll go 60 just so we can get kind of stabilized. Then we'll pull forward and bring him down. There's a couple of helipads. Should be right in front of us. Shouldn't have anything that we're going to hit. I guess you want to be mindful of, like, if there was a tower or something behind you, you don't want them to, like, clip the tail rotor on it. So you can see our helipads right there. So we're going to try to bring him through the hover menu. We're going to control him to bring him to the left. Try to get lined up kind of straight on this taxiway. And then we'll pull forward into position to bring it on the ground. So all we're going to do there is hover left, so left long press.
Sliding left.
He's going to start sliding. And kind of let go just before...
Roger. Stopping.
Just before... I overshot it a little bit. But you want to kind of let go just before, kind of time it. Because as long as you're holding the button, he's going to be moving, right? So if you want to... When you let go of the button, it's gonna take a minute for him to gain control and hover again. So we're gonna go ahead and do the same thing. We're gonna go long press up.
Moving forward.
And you're basically just controlling the aircraft like this. Right. And then we'll go ahead and
Roger.
release.
Stopping.
Fixed wing. 6 o'clock. Searching.
See, even that was a little
Fixed wing.
Moving back.
Searching.
little too much.
Roger. Stopping.
That's
Fixed
better.
wing. 6 o'clock. Searching.
Alright, so we're kind of centered. We're in the hover menu, and all we're going to do now is we're going to bring it down to down short press, and we're just going to go to 0.
Copy. Coming down.
And then he will indicate when we land. Nice and smooth.
At altitude.
Boom. We are on the ground. We should be able to go over to our ground menu now, and you should be able to tell him to shut the aircraft off. You could go to idle. Right now we're going to long press down.
Copy. Clear. Starting APU.
He's going to go through the shutdown process. So yeah, that's all there is to it. Just remember, outer circle long press, inner circle short press. Menu indication is normally on the left, which is also indicated
Handle out.
on the symbols on the left.
Retarding power levers to idle.
And you can control the aircraft. I mean, it's almost like an autopilot feeling from up here to me, because George is doing all the hard work back there, keeping it level and flying. He's going to let the engines cool down, go through the shutdown process, all that fun stuff. But that is going to do it for this little tutorial here. I hope it helped. Hope it kind of explained what the George AI menus do, or what they mean and how they operate from the gunner's seat's perspective. Remember, there is an AI for George when he's in the gunner's seat and you're in the pilot's seat. But this kind of explains how to fly the aircraft when you're from the gunner's seat. So I hope that helped. Like always, guys, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see from DCS. And like always, cheers. And we'll see you on the next one.